Welcome to the second video on transient over voltages. In the previous video, we discussed about capacitor switching, lightning over voltages, and then we also discussed about principles of over voltage protection. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the devices used for over voltage protection and some few computer tools available for transient analysis. So the devices used for over voltage protections are transient voltage surge suppressor, which is here, which is available in the market. Then isolation transformer, because of the inductive nature, it is also used for the over voltage protection. And then of course low pass filters, then low impedance power conditioners, and then finally utility surge arresters. Transient voltage surge suppressor. This is also called as surge protection device SPD and surge suppression equipment SSE. So this equipment is used to protect electrical and electronic equipments at the customer end from the transients or surges, okay, which leads to high voltage and high current. Okay, this surge protector diverts this excess voltage and current from surges into the ground. Okay, so it is normally installed at the load side or the equipment side where already there is some short circuit and ground fault protection. Okay, there are two main functions of surge protector. First one is to provide low impedance path for the current to eliminate the extra voltage. Okay, and it also helps to absorb and divert the extra current to the ground, so that it can protect the appliance from the transient. So the components which are used to limit high voltage are MOV. MOV means metal oxide varistor, then gas discharge tube, and also silicon avalanche diode, and there are many other materials. Okay, we will see one by one. Metal oxide varistor, so it is normally placed at the load side, okay, before the appliances or the equipment. So this is a semiconductor device with high resistance. Okay, so normally at normal condition, this acts as an insulator, but when the voltage increases, the resistance of this metal oxide varistor drops rapidly and it provides a low impedance path to the ground. So hence it acts as a surge diverter or suppressor. Similar to MOV, this gas discharge tube is also a surge suppressor in which the inert gas or rare gas is filled inside this tube. At normal condition, this acts as an insulator, but when there is some high voltage, then this gas gets ionized and it conducts and it forms a way to the ground. Okay, so the high voltage and the high current flows to the ground, thus act as a surge diverter. And the last one is the silicon avalanche diode. So we know that diode, during the forward bias condition it conducts, during reverse bias condition it blocks the flow of current. So this silicon avalanche diode is used in the reverse bias condition to block the surge current. Okay, but when it exceeds the voltage, when there is high voltage, the avalanche takes place and which results to the breakdown of the diode and it flows to the ground. Okay, so that is that works on the principle of avalanche breakdown. Okay, so SAD is also called as surge diverter. The next one is the isolation transformer. It provides galvanic isolation. That means they are electrically separated but magnetically coupled. Okay, so that kind of isolation is provided by the isolation transformer. This kind of separation is used to protect the device that is connecting at the secondary side from any kind of malfunction, okay, like high voltage and noises. Those can be protected. So even this isolation transformer can block the DC signals from one circuit to the other. Okay, it will allow only the AC signal to pass. So this isolation transformer attenuates, that means it suppresses high frequency noise and transients to pass from one side to another side. However, because of this capacitive coupling, some common mode and normal mode noise can still reach the load. So here we have to provide an electrostatic shield to eliminate the common mode noise. However, some normal mode noise may still reach the load due to magnetic and capacitive coupling. Okay, so the high frequency noise and transients are kept from reaching the load, and also any generated noise and transients are kept from reaching the load. Okay, so normally this is the line side and this is the load side. In between the line and the load, the isolation transformer is fixed. Next one is the low pass filter, which we have already discussed. This filter acts as a pi circuit, okay, because here there is one surge arrestor, surge diverter, that is V1, and V2 is another surge diverter, and then there is an impedance circuit. Okay, so V1, the first surge diverter, is connected between line and the ground to divert the high current and voltage, and this is in the line side, okay, that is the generation side, and the next surge diverter is at the load side, which is connected between line and neutral. So these two provides a good filtering action so that surges won't reach as the load. This is the modified version of low pass filter. It is a hybrid protector which combines the low pass filter with two surge suppressor. The two surge suppressor are gap type protector and MOV, metal oxide varistor. It is a non-linear resistor. Okay, so the gap type protector on the front end to handle high energy transients. It will handle the high energy transients, and the low pass filter for filtering the high frequency transients, and the inductor, and the final one is the non-linear resistor, which clamps the voltage magnitude at the equipment end, okay, at the load side. Okay, so this provides a better performance when compared to the previous one. So the low impedance power conditioner is used along with SMPS, that is switched mode power supply, which is found in the electronic equipment. Okay, and this is similar to isolation transformer. The difference is that the impedance is lower than the isolation transformer, and it has additional filter. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram of the low impedance power conditioner, and here you can see this is isolation transformer and this is the filter at the output side. Okay, so you see noises, whether it is from the load side or the utility side, can be removed at this portion, and then finally there is a snubber circuit for protection at the output side. Output side means it is the load side. So this arrangement helps to remove the common mode disturbance, normal mode disturbance from both source side and the load side. Okay, so the new neutral to ground connection that can be made on the load side because of the existence of the isolation transformer. Utility surge arrestor. There are three most common utility surge arresters. They are silicon carbide arresters, gapless metal oxide varistor arrestor, gapped MOV arresters. And these silicon carbide arresters are the most successful arresters in the olden days. Okay, this type of arresters are connected between the conductors and the ground. Okay, these SIC arresters consist of a spark gap. Okay, there will be some spark gap, that is the air gap, in series with the silicon carbide, which is a non-linear resistor. Okay, and during the normal system operating conditions, there is the spark gap or the air gap act as a high insulator. Okay, therefore the current will not flow through this arrestor. Okay, however, when there is any over voltage, okay, this spark gap breaks down, okay, or it conducts, okay, allowing the current through uh, current to flow to the ground. Okay, and this was the most successful silicon carbide arresters till 1980s. Okay, and during that year the metal oxide varistor technology has been emerged out, and then the silicon carbide arresters was phased out, leading to the gapless metal oxide varistor technology. Gapless metal oxide varistor arresters. The main component of the metal oxide varistor arrestor is zinc oxide, that is ZNO, which is combined with several ingredients, okay, several mixtures to achieve the necessary characteristics and durability of the arrestor. These ingredients will be like a dry powder, and then it is compressed into a disc shaped blocks, which is a porcelain like component, and then this disc is enclosed in a porcelain housing filled with nitrogen gas. Here you see the porcelain housing which is filled with nitrogen gas or SF6 gas. Okay, then here you can see silicon rubber cushion to keep the disc in the position. Okay, so all the discs are kept in that position, in the respective position, and there is a potential barrier at the boundary of each grain of zinc oxide, which is the main component of this arrestor, and this potential barrier controls the flow of current from one grain to the next grain. So ZNO is very important in controlling the flow of current. Okay, so at normal voltage the current will not flow through this arrestor because of the ZNO, that is the potential barrier of ZNO, zinc oxide. At over voltage, the barrier collapses and the sharp transition of current from insulating to the conducting state takes place. So now this insulator becomes conductor at the over voltage, and the current starts flowing through this arrestor, and this arrestor is connected between the conductor and the ground. So the high voltage or the current starts flowing to the ground and thereby protecting the load. Gapped MOV arresters. These arresters combined both the silicon carbide grading ring, that is resistance graded gap. Okay, it combines the gap and the MOV technology. Okay, so it is the combination of having the gap and the MOV technology. Okay, so hence it is called as gapped MOV arresters. So when this combination happens, it has a lower lightning discharge voltage and has a higher transient over voltage withstanding characteristics when compared to the gapless MOV arresters. So this gives better performance than both silicon carbide arresters and gapless MOV arresters. So this is the comparative diagram of gapped silicon carbide. So this is the older technology where there are gaps, okay, resistance grade gap structure, and then this is the gapless MOV. So here in this one, zinc oxide is the major component and there is no gap, and the third one is gapped MOV. So here a few gaps has been created for the better characteristics, and this is the graph. This is the waveform of relative discharge voltage of the three technologies. Difference between lightning arrestor and surge arrestor. Lightning arresters are mainly used to protect components from lightning over voltages and its associated surges, whereas surge arrestor protects the system from all kinds of transient over voltages, which includes lightning over voltage, capacitor switching, and other kinds of electrical fault. Okay, simply we can say that surge arrestor can be used as a lightning arrestor, while lightning arrestor can't be used as a surge arrestor. Okay. Computer tools for transient analysis. So when we discuss about computer tools, there are numerous computer tools for transient analysis, but the most commonly used tools for the analysis is EMTP. EMTP in the sense EMTP means electromagnetic transient program, and then PSCAD. PSCAD means power system computer aided design, and then it is also called as EMTDC. EMTDC means electromagnetic transients including DC. Okay, and then the most important simulation tool is MATLAB. MATLAB means Matrix Laboratory. And finally, there are some SPICE softwares which are PSpice and LTSpice. PSpice means Personal Simulation Program with Integrated Circuit Emphasis. Okay, so like that, there are many computer tools for analyzing these transient. So based on the applications and the familiarity, okay, you can choose the one and we can work on it. All right, so thank you.